Good evening, I'm Abhyuday Shrestha, and these are the headlines of the hour. Home Minister Rabi accuses the previous government led by Pushpakamal Dahal of letting GB Rai, the main accused in the cooperatives fraud, escape. Nepali Congress's stand for the formation of a probe committee to investigate Home Minister Lamichane's involvement in cooperatives fraud likely to hinder the government presenting its policies and programs. Key leader in India's opposition alliance, Kejriwal urges his compatriots to resist dictatorship of Prime Minister Modi after the country's top court provisionally releases him from jail. And Litur 11 thumped Bagmati province by 7 wickets in the Mayor's Cup Women's Cricket Tournament. Kritika Marseni grabs 4 wickets, including a hat-trick in Lalitur's win. Deputy Prime Minister and Home Minister Rabi has stated that his right to speak in the parliament has been constricted by Nepali Congress. Speaking to reporters in Chitwan today, Home Minister Lamichane said that a probe committee may be formed to investigate the cooperatives fraud. However, he should get the opportunity to address the questions raised against him during parliament sessions. He also challenged to prove allegations made against him. He also said that efforts were underway to arrest GB Rai, the main accused of cooperatives fraud.
सार्वभौम संसद हो यसले बोल्न दिने त्यसले बोल्न दिदैन नभए चल्दैन यसो गर उसो गर भनेर नेपाली कांग्रेसले राष्ट्रपाललाई आदेश दिने होइन संसदलाई कांग्रेसले आदेश दिने होइन नेपाली जनताको आदेशले संसदमा पुगेको मान्छेले एक पटक सदनमा बोल्न पाऊ भने भगाइसकेको मान्छेलाई खोज्न समय लाग्ने भए हुनाले मैले भनेकै छु हर कोसिस
भगाए चाहिँ कले
भाग्दाखेरि सरकारमा पुग्यो खोज्नुस्
अब त समात्नु पर्यो नि त सरकारमा तपाई हुनुहुन्छ
समात्दै छु कोसिस भइरहेको छ.
Meanwhile, Home Minister Lamichane has said that the task of arresting GB Rai, who has been alleged of being involved in cooperatives fraud, was difficult because he was allowed to escape by the government. He informed that correspondence with the Malaysian government is underway in this regard. The Home Minister stressed on the need for political and bilateral talks with Malaysia, as the two countries have not signed any extradition treaty.
देश यो जनता यहाँका नागरिक बचाउनु भए कसैलाई बचाउनु नै छैन तर केसका जटिलताले गर्दाखेरि कतिपय केसहरू तत्काल हुन्छन् कतिपय केसहरू टाइम लाग्छन् कतिपय केसका फाइलहरू क्लोज गरिदिएर चाहिँ अनुसन्धान अधिकारीहरूलाई सारेर यताको उता गरिदिएर प्रमाणहरू कता छता ठुल्ल पारिएको भयौं त्यस्ता चीजहरू छन् त्यसले गर्दा त्यसलाई ब्याक गर्नको लागि यो 60-65 दिन कति भयो त्यसमा कामहरू भइरहेको छ.
Home Minister Lamichane, who has reached Chitwan, clarified that he had not interfered with the police administration. The parliament obstruction by the main opposition Nepali Congress demanding for the formation of a probe committee to investigate Home Minister Rabi Lamichane's involvement in the cooperatives fraud will likely hinder the government's task of presenting and endorsing the policies and programs of the upcoming fiscal year at the parliament. Nepali Congress has remained firm in its demand for the formation of the probe committee. However, the ruling alliance parties are not in the mindset of forming the committee. Meanwhile, uncertainty looms regarding the presentation of the government's policies and programs and the budget of the upcoming fiscal year, scheduled for this Tuesday. The government has not decided how to move forward in such a situation. However, leaders from the ruling alliance say that the government has various alternatives. Main opposition Nepali Congress has warned that it will continue to obstruct the parliament until the committee is formed. However, the party has yet to make a decision regarding the government's policies and programs. Nepali Congress General Secretary Gagan Thapa has said that the parliamentary party meeting of the party that has been scheduled for this Monday will take a decision in this regard. As per the provision, the budget for the upcoming fiscal year will be presented after the government's policies and programs are endorsed. According to the constitutional provision, the government presents the budget every year on 15th of the Nepali month of Jesta, which this year is on 28th of May. It's now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
But before that, let's take a look at the results from yesterday's poll. Yesterday, we had asked you, why was the first day of the budget session of the House of Representatives obstructed? 45% voted for A, parties remaining firm in their stance, 40% for B, government indifference, and 15% for C, inadequate effort from the Speaker. And here's today's question. What should be done for further development of information technology and new entrepreneurships? Your options are A. Policy-wise improvement, B. Easy and subsidized loans, and C. Market assurance. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. In our Public Voice segment, today we have asked people in several provinces how they protect themselves from scams that are carried out through digital platforms. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
हामीले अपरिचित व्यक्तिहरुबाट फ्रेन्ड रिक्वेस्टहरु एक्सेप्ट गर्नु हुँदैन
कसैले लिंकहरु शेयर गर्छ त्यसलाई क्लिक नगर्ने
इन्स्टाहरुमा फेक पेजहरु आइराको हुन्छ त्यसमा आफूले पैसा पाउनको लागि यतिकै प्राइसहरु घटाएर हालिराको हुन्छन् त्यसमा चाहिँ आफूले हेरेर किन्नु पर्छ
आधिकारिक के हो मिडिया आधिकारिक मिडिया हेर्ने गर्न पर्यो
कुनै बैंक ब्यालेन्स मागिरहेछ कि कुनै खाता नम्बर मागिरहेछ त्यो कुराहरु हेरेर जस्ट उलाई इग्नोर गर्दिन्छु
प्रशासनलाई जानकारी दिने यस्तो खालको कुरो यो नम्बरबाट यसरी मलाई जानकारी आयो भनेर जानकारी दिने त्यो भयो भने पनि त्यसबाट बन्न सकिने सहीबाट उम्किन सकिन्छ
आफूले युज गर्ने सोशल मिडियाजहरु प्राइभेटै राख्ने ट्राई गर्छु र आफूले नचिनेको मान्छेहरुले पठाउनु भएको फ्रेन्ड रिक्वेस्टहरु पनि एक्सेप्ट गर्दिन
नेपाल प्रहरीमा चाहिँ सूचना गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ त्यसले हामीलाई चाहिँ प्रहरीले खोजी गरेर त्यसको कारबाहीमा आफू फसेको अवस्थामा कारबाही गर्ने अवस्था पनि हुन सक्छ
विश्वासिलो व्यक्तिहरुको मात्र चाहिँ बाटै कारोबार गर्नुपर्छ
We'll take a short break here. We have more news coming up. The first Mount Everest expedition of this year's spring season has been successful as 10 mountaineers have reached the peak of the world's highest mountain. A team of 10 Sherpas who are involved in finding a new route reached the summit at 8:15 p.m. last night. The expedition team included Dendi Sherpa, Gyalje Sherpa, Namgyal Dorje Sherpa, Sukbadur Tamang, Dawa Rinje Sherpa, Dawa Sherpa, Rinji Sherpa, Pemba Tashi Sherpa, Pam Dorje Sherpa, and Lakpa Sherpa. 7 Summit Trek said that the team successfully completed the task of fixing ropes and installing ladders. The temporary head of the field office of the Department of Tourism, Kimlal Gautam, said that this has paved way for other mountaineers to scale the highest mountain in the world this year. Chair of the Sagarmatha Pollution Control Committee, Lama Kaji Sherpa, said that 414 mountaineers of 41 expedition teams have received climbing permit for this season and that all preparations for climbing Mount Everest have been complete. Of the many trekking routes in Nepal, one of the most preferred and easy for adventure enthusiasts of all ages is the Mardi Trek. The short trek is known for its scenic beauty and accessibility. More in this report.
Following a 27-kilometer journey in vehicle, Kado of Kaski can be reached on the first day, where the trek for Mardi begins. The Australian camp is located at 1 hour uphill trek, following which Pitam Deurali through Pothana is the next destination, which can be reached in around 5 hours. The journey then moves towards the forest camp. Around half an hour of uphill trek near Lovely Hill is physically demanding. After around 2 hours of trek, the day one ends at forest camp. The second day begins from forest camp to high camp. Adventure enthusiasts have their breakfast at the low camp after 2 hours of trekking. Through a forest rich in rhododendron, trekkers reach Badal Dada at an altitude of 3,300 meters above the sea level. With a beautiful view of the mountains, trekkers reach the high camp at an altitude of 3,550 meters to rest the night. There are no accommodation facilities higher than the high camp in this trekking route. The next morning, viewpoint at an altitude of 4,200 meters can be reached after around 2 hours of trek from the high camp. A large number of tourists can be witnessed to enjoy the sunrise and the view of the mountains, including Annapurna, Machapuchri and Mardi, among others.
The tracks are fantastic. The stonework that they've used will last for a long time, if not forever. And it just shows if you build tracks really well, then they will last a long time and they look good.
Most of us, I think we didn't really train, so we found it quite challenging. But it was a nice experience. I think the views and the duration was just right.
While most tourists return from the viewpoint, some reach the Mardi base camp, for which another day of trekking is required. After returning from the viewpoint to a high camp, the journey concludes by returning to Pokhara. Trekkers usually spend their third night at low camp and then drop to Siding, after which they take vehicles to reach Pokhara on the fourth day.
It's time now for the international update. A top opponent of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Chief Minister of Delhi, Arvind Kejriwal, urged his compatriots to resist dictatorship after the country's top court provisionally released him from jail to campaign in the ongoing general election. Kejriwal, a key leader in an opposition alliance formed to compete against Prime Minister Modi in the polls, was granted bail yesterday after weeks in custody. He is among several leaders of the bloc under criminal investigation, with his party describing his arrest as a political conspiracy orchestrated by the ruling Bharatiya Janata Party to sideline its opponents ahead of the vote. In a defiant press conference today, the day after his release, Kejriwal said the outcome of the election would determine whether India remained a democracy. Kejriwal also personally accused the Prime Minister of targeting his opponents with criminal probes. Kejriwal's government was accused of corruption when it liberalized the sale of liquor in 2021 and gave up a lucrative government stake in the sector. Israel has called on Palestinians in more areas of Gaza's southern city of Rafah to evacuate and head to what it calls an expanded humanitarian area in Al-Mawasi, in a further indication that the military is pressing ahead with its plans for a ground attack on Rafah. In a post on social media site X, a military spokesperson also called on residents and displaced people in the Jabalia area of northern Gaza and 11 other neighborhoods in the enclave to go immediately to the shelters west of Gaza City. Despite heavy U.S. pressure and alarm expressed by residents and humanitarian groups, Israel has said it will proceed with an incursion into Rafah, where more than 1 million displaced people have sought refuge during the 7-month-old war. The war was triggered by a Hamas-led attack on southern Israel in which some 1,200 people were killed and more than 250 people taken hostage, according to Israeli tallies. It's time now for another short break. We'll be right back.
Sports news.
Litur 11 thumped Bagmati province by 7 wickets in the Mayor's Cup Women's Cricket Tournament today. Lalitpur spinner Kritika Marsini shined with the ball as she grabbed 4 wickets, which included a hat-trick. In the match played at the Tribhuvan University Cricket Ground in Kantipur today, Bagmati province elected to bat and were bowled out in 14.2 overs for a paltry total of 52 runs. Bagmati were in early trouble as they were 4 wickets down when only 17 runs were on the board in 4.3 overs. Bagmati kept losing wickets at regular intervals and were finally bowled out for 52 runs. Skipper Ashmina Karmacharya was the leading scorer for Bagmati with 20 runs. Opener Kanchan Shrestha also added 11 runs. All the other Bagmati batters failed to score in double digits. Kritika Marsini was the pick of the Lalitpur bowlers with 4 wickets. Saraswati Kumari also claimed 3 wickets, while captain Pooja Mahato took 2. Chasing a victory target of 53 runs, Lalitpur romped home in 13.1 overs, losing 3 wickets. Skipper Pooja Mahato top scored for Lalitpur with 23 runs. Opener Lakshmi Chaudhary also added 12 runs off 7 balls. Another opener, Kiran Kumar and Saraswati Ganga Magar, were both run out after scoring 6 runs each. Khushi Dangol with 1 wicket was the only Bagmati bowler to pick up a wicket. 2 matches are scheduled for tomorrow. Lalitpur 11 are up against Sudur Pashchim Province in tomorrow's first match, while Koshi Province will face Armed Police Force Club in the second match. Japa's Birtamore United Club blanked Armed Police Force Football Club 3-0 to lift the title of the 16th edition of Bhim Narayan Shrestha Memorial Gold Cup. In the final played at Tollo Tunikhel Dhankuta today, Ashish Chapagai, Abhishek and Devendra Tamang were on the score sheet for Birtamod United. APF failed to convert a spot kick towards the end of the match. Suman Sresta's weak effort was well saved by Birtamod's custodian Sandeep Limbu, and Birtamod United held on to the lead to secure the 3-0 win. Along with the title, Birtamod United bagged 500,000 rupees in prize money. Runners-up APF Football Club had to settle for 250,000 rupees. Birtamod United's Ashish Chapagai was adjudged the player of the tournament. Josko Guvardiol scored a brace as Manchester City thumped Fulham 4-0 to climb to the top of the English Premier League table with only 1 week of the season remaining. In the match played at Fulham's home ground in London today, Croatian defender Guvardiol opened the scoring for City in the 13th minute. Phil Foden found the back of the net in the 59th minute to double City's lead and gave them breathing space. Guvardiol slid in to touch home Bernardo Silva's cross at the back post in the 71st minute to extend City's lead to 3-0. Julian Alvarez converted a stoppage time penalty after being fouled by Issa Diop, who was sent off, and Manchester City sealed the 4-0 win over Fulham. City securing their 7th successive league win and 16th consecutive victory over Fulham in all competitions moved Pep Guardiola's side a step closer to an unprecedented 4th English Premier League title in a row. They have 85 points from 36 matches, with Arsenal on 83 points from also 36 matches. Arsenal can regain the top spot by defeating Manchester United tomorrow. But City, who play their game in hand at Tottenham Hotspur this Tuesday, are now 2 wins away from history. Following the loss, Fulham are in the 14th spot of the points table with 44 points from 37 matches. Meanwhile, in other matches played today, Everton edged past Sheffield United 1-0, West Ham defeated Luton Town 3-1, Brentford took care of Bournemouth 2-1, Newcastle and Brighton settled for a 1-1 draw, Crystal Palace defeated Wolves 3-1, and Tottenham came from behind to edge past Burnley 2-1. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Good night.